about the project operation. This project operation shows the list of those attributes that we wish to appear in the result. Okay, what are the attributes we want to show in the result can be projected using this project operation. Okay, the rest of the attributes are eliminated from the table. There will be various attributes available in the table. It can be a 10, 5, 15 likewise, but only those things which we need to give as output alone can be visualized by using this project operation. Okay, then it is denoted by pi value. Okay, this notation is pi a1 comma a2 comma a1 a2 like until an. Okay, there can be number of attributes that is given as a1 a2 and up to an. These are the attributes within the relation. Okay, it is mainly the project operation is used to project the particular attributes which we want to visualize in the output. Okay, other things will be hidden here. See the example. There the table consists of three things: name, street and city. Okay, this table name is customer. Okay, the table name is customer. It consists of three column, three attributes, that is name, street and city. So we need to project only the name and city alone. Okay, so what happens, we can give project symbol. Okay, name comma city, within the bracket we have to give the table name. Okay, that is the input, and the output will be only, it will project only those name and city alone. Okay, so the street is hidden inside. Okay, because we need to project only the two columns, so we are projecting only two columns using the project operation, and we are hiding the street. Okay, next let us see about the union operation. We all have already studied about this union operation and all in the mathematics, isn't it? What is the purpose of union? It will combine all the tables. Okay, all the attributes, that is called as union operation. Union means combining all the attributes. Okay, you see here, suppose there are two tuples R and S. The union operation contains all the tuples that are either in R or S or in both R and S. Okay, common things will be neglected, and all the tuples will be, all the attributes will be displayed. That is the main purpose of union operations. It eliminates the duplicate tuples. Both the tables consist of same name. For example, we are considering two tables. It can be one as a student database, and the second one is student mark list. Okay, but in both the table there will be, what happens, in the student database we may have attributes such as student register number, name, email id, mobile number, address, other number likewise. Okay, in student mark statement we will have register number, name, mark 1, mark 2, mark 3 likewise. Okay, when we combine these two tables, these two tables together, what happens means the register number and name will be repeated twice, isn't it? So it will be, these called as duplicate values. ரெண்டு டைம் வருது இல்லையா, so it is called as duplicate values. அதை வந்து ஒரே ஒரு டைம் தான் வரும். ரெஜிஸ்டர் நம்பர் ஒரு டைம், நேம் ஒரு டைம், then the attributes in the table 1, for example, email id, mobile number, other number, address, and then mark 1, mark 2, mark 3. அப்ப பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா அந்த உங்க ரெஜிஸ்டர் நம்பர் நேம் ரெண்டு டைம் ரிப்பீட் ஆகுது இல்லையா, it will be avoided. That is, it eliminates the duplicate tuples, and this union operation is represented by u. Okay, the symbol is u. Here, for example, if there are two tables R and S, then we can use the union operation using R union S. Okay, this R represent one table and S represent the other table. Okay, so a union operation must hold the following condition, that is R and S must have attributes of same number, and the duplicate tuples are eliminated automatically. These are the two main conditions while using the union operation. Okay, the attribute of the, it has to consist of same number, and the duplicates are eliminated automatically. See the example for union operation. First table consists of customer name and loan number. Okay, and the second table consists of customer name and account number. Okay, so now we are going to combine the in the both table we are going to combine the customer name alone. So you see here we have 7, isn't it? There are 7 rows, and here also we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows. So 7 rows and plus 7 rows we can combine together, and the answer we should have 14 rows we should have. But you see here some names are repeating, isn't it? For example, Johnson is repeating twice, and then what else are repeating? Smith is repeating twice. So the repeating things are eliminated, and then only the other things. If there are 2 times means we give only 1 time. Okay, Smith is 3 times available, but we have in our output there will be only 1. Other things, Johnson is 2, then we have only 1, and then all others are combined together. So you see, out of 14 rows, we have only 11 rows in the output by avoiding the repetition. Okay. Next, we are going to see about set intersection. Okay, what is set intersection? Intersection means only we are going to select common things, isn't it? We say in the previous example, we say Smith is there for 3 times, and then Johnson is 2 times, isn't it? So the common items available in both the tables are only selected. That is called as set intersection. Okay, suppose there are 2 tuples R and S. The set intersection operation contains all tuples that are both in R and S. Okay, it is written by the intersection symbol, that is N like. Okay, the notation is R intersection S. So in the above table itself, you see the above in the above example. Let us see. Jones is available 2 times, isn't it? So it will be coming in the intersection. Smith is also available because in the both tables Smith is available. Hayes is available only 1, so it will be neglected. Jackson is also only 1, so neglected. This Curry is also only 1, neglected. Smith is available, and then Williams is also neglected. So only 3 things will be available in the intersection. You see here. What are they? Smith and Jones. Smith and Jones only available in both the tables. Okay, that is the example for set intersection. Next, let us see about set difference. Okay, set difference is also same concept what we have studied in the mathematics. Okay, suppose there are 2 tuples R and S. The set intersection operation contains all tuples that are in R but not in S. So what happens here means, as we have seen the previous example, R is one tuple and S is another tuple. What are the things available? The common things in R and S will be neglected. Other than that, what and all available in R will be displayed here. Okay, are you clear? There are, you see the example here. Let's take the same example. We have seen the similar things, that is Jones, Smith are similar things which is available in the R and also S. Okay, that is between the depositor and the borrower. Okay, so now by leaving those things, then Hayes, Jackson, Curry and Williams will be considered the set difference. See here, the answer will be Jackson's, Hayes, William and Curry, because those common items will be neglected other than what are available in R. Okay, first table will be displayed in the set difference. It is denoted by the intersection minus. Okay, notation is R minus S. Okay, are you clear about set difference? Now let's see about the Cartesian product. Cartesian product is used to combine each row in one table with each row in other table. Okay, this Cartesian product is mainly used to combine each row in one table with each row in other table. It is also known as cross product. Okay, this Cartesian product is also called as cross product denoted by X. Okay, E cross is used as the notation here. Okay, E cross D. You see the example. There are 2 tables. Okay, employee and department. In employee, there is employee ID, name, and department. And in the department also department number and department name is available. So now you see, first let us consider employee ID 1 Smith. Okay, department A, and employee department is A, and the department number is also A and department name. Similarly, for Smith, it takes one row and all the rows in the second table also. Okay, so marketing, sales, and legal. Similarly, for Harry also, each row in the first table and each row in the second table is considered. Okay, so this is called as example for Cartesian product. Okay, for Harry also marketing, sales, and legal will come. For John also marketing, sales, and legal. So for three, here we consist of three elements and the second table consists of three elements. So 3 cos 3 is equal to 9. So in the output we have 9 elements together in the Cartesian product. Next, let's see about the rename operation. Okay, rename operation, as the name indicate, we can also rename the particular table using this rename operation. Okay, the rename operation is used to rename the output relation. It is denoted by row. Okay, the symbol is called as row, RHO. Example, we can use the rename operator to rename student relation to student 1. That is, we can rename the table name using this rename operation. We have to give this row symbol, then within the bracket new table name, and then comma the old table name. Okay, that is, these are the operations available in the relational database. Next, let us see about the relational calculus. Okay, now we are going to see about the relational calculus. Relational calculus is a non-procedural query language. We have seen that relational algebra is a procedural query language, isn't it? So now we are going to see about relational calculus, which is a non-procedural query language. In the non-procedural query language, the user is concerned with details of how to obtain the end result. Okay, it mainly deals about the end result alone, how we are going to obtain the end result. The relational calculus tells what to do but never explains how to do. Okay, here we know we want to get the output alone. Okay, the steps will not be given here, but in the relational algebra we know how the output is received by using the steps, isn't it, by using various operations. But here not like that. We will get the end result alone. We will not know about the steps how we get the result. There are two different types of relational calculus. Okay, there are two different types of relational calculus. They are tuple relational calculus and domain relational calculus. Okay, first we are going to see about tuple relational calculus, which we call in short as TRC. The tuple relational calculus is specified to select the tuples in the relation. Okay, it is mainly specified to select the tuples in the relation. In the tuple relational calculus, filtering variable uses tuples of relation. Tuples of relation means row. Okay, tuple here we represent the in a table, the row is called as tuple. Okay, so for filtering variable uses tuples of relation. The result of the relation can have one or more tuples. Okay, the output can have either one or many tuples. So the notation you see here, T of P of T or T of condition of T. T is the resulting tuple and P of T is the condition used to fetch the T. Okay, likewise only we have here, that is just, it is a non-procedural query language, so it will be given like as a set. For example, you see here T dot name and then author of T and T article is equal to database. So what happens here, you see, this query select the tuples from the author relation. Okay, author is a table from which we are going to select the author name and article. Okay, it returns the tuple with a name from author who has written an article on database. Okay, this tuple relational calculus can be quantified. Okay, it can be quantified means it is easily countable. And in TRC we can use extensible and universal quantifier also. Okay, extensible quantifier and universal quantifier which is represented here. Okay, so we can use this extensial quantifier E reverse and the universal quantifier V cross. So this query will yield the same result as the previous one. Okay, we can have either of this or first one or second example, but the output will be the same only. Next one is domain relational calculus. The second form of relation is known as domain relational calculus. In domain relational calculus, filtering variable uses domain of attributes. There we used tuples of relation. Here we use domain of attributes. So the domain relational calculus uses the same operators as tuple calculus. Okay, it uses logical connectives and or not. Okay, it uses logical connectives and or and not, and also the it uses existential and quantifier and universal quantifier to bind the variable. This mainly used to bind, that is to combine the variables. We are using this quantifiers. The notation used is A1, A2 are the attributes, and then P of A1, A2 are the formula built by the inner attributes. Okay, this is an example for domain relational calculus. Here you see article, page, and subject. We are taking from, for example, we are taking from some website, means for example Java Point. So from the Java Point, the subject database, we are going to select article, page, and subject. Okay, this query will yield the article, page, and subject from the relational Java Point where the subject is a database. Right? Thank you.